Anyone else? Don't you want to see anyone else? Anyone else?
Take it away.
Anyone else? There's somebody right over there that we're trying to help. What is it? You don't want to take a person out there? Yeah, you look bad.
Diosdado Cabello, one of the main leaders of the Chavista dictatorship, is at the center of a serious accusation. Amid the earthquake that hit Venezuela, a circulating video shows an American rescue team trying to move forward to save people, while access was reportedly blocked by authorities linked to the regime. The scene gained traction because it happens at a time when families are still searching for buried relatives. Children are separated from their parents. Buildings collapsed in Caracas and La Guaira. And the number of deaths has already surpassed 1,400, with almost 50,000 people still unaccounted for, according to independent records.
The number of deaths in the earthquakes that hit Venezuela last week has now officially surpassed 1,400. According to the UN, more than 50,000 people are still missing. And about 1,600 foreign rescuers who were sent from various countries are reinforcing the search efforts. But in the first days, it was the local population itself that took on this mission. Lacking support, families searched the rubble by hand, hoping to find relatives and neighbors.
The earthquake didn't just hit concrete streets and hospitals. It exposed a political wound that has been suffocating Venezuelans for years. When the people need quick relief the most, the Chavista government tries to control even who can help, where they can go, and how the aid arrives. While foreign teams, volunteers, and residents race against time, the regime's bureaucracy appears as yet another barrier between life and death.
We have someone here who is very shaken. Please state your first and last name.
I am Noraima Perez, a housekeeper at Clinica Camulive, and I am here shaken because my 4 children are missing. My daughter, Aranza Lopez, was taken out alive, but they took her with a last name that isn't hers, Aranza Vergara. She appears in the Social Security records. I looked for her in every hospital in Caracas, and she also doesn't show up where they transferred her. We need international help, and for this to be heard at an international level, the children of Vargas are being taken. They are changing the last names of the children of Vargas and giving them different ones so they can take them away. Why can't my daughter be found at Perez Carreño Hospital? I looked for her but couldn't find her. All the witnesses here from OP27, she's the only Aranza Lopez from there, and they took her out as Aranza Vergara.
What matters more to Chavismo? Saving lives or preserving control? Why stop those who come to rescue? How can those trapped under rubble still need permission to get help? I'll explain soon. If you like this kind of straightforward and no-nonsense content, consider subscribing because we have videos like this every day. Diosdado Cabello, Minister of the Interior, and a strong figure in Chavismo, made public statements asking drivers to give way, to let them pass, and saying that the authorities were following protocols to activate help and rescue. But that's where the most outrageous part of the circulating news comes in. While the official statement talked about protocol, videos on social media pointed to an alleged blockade against a United States rescue team that was trying to reach a victim. The accusation is serious because in an earthquake situation, every minute lost can cost a life. Teams from the United States, France, Colombia, Mexico, Switzerland, and other nations were mobilized to help with the search efforts. Reuters reported that more than 2,600 foreign rescuers arrived in Venezuela and that at least 33 people were rescued over the weekend. The problem is that time is working against the survivors. Rescue experts remind us that the first 72 hours are crucial for finding people alive. After that, the chances of survival drop sharply. That's why any political barrier, delay, confusing order, or power struggle involving the rescue teams becomes even more serious. This is not about abstract ideology. It's about people struggling to breathe under concrete, waiting for a voice, a flashlight, a hand, a tool, a prepared team. The tragedy also opened up another area of concern: children separated from their families. The organization Save the Children reported that children died, were injured, and some were separated from their guardians during the evacuations in Caracas and La Guaira. This information adds weight to the complaint of a Venezuelan mother who claims that her daughter was rescued, but her last name was changed and she disappeared afterward.
I need help, please, with my other son, Edgar Noel Matos Perez, who is 19 years old, and my son, Mike Lopez, who is also 6 years old, who was also taken out alive. They took him to a police station, and until now, I don't know where my son is, and I'm going crazy because did you look for them in the hospitals? Yes, we looked. My family is also helping on social media with photos of my 3 children. We are looking at Perez Carreno. We are looking everywhere. We've even been to Helicoide, and my children haven't shown up.
They were here in this Vivienda mission.
Justice, yes, I demand justice because my son Mike was taken by the police here in the state of La Guaira.
Thank you. Please state your full name.
Doraima Isabel Perez Aponte.
Okay, in disasters of this scale, unaccompanied children become vulnerable to mistakes, neglect, and crimes. And in a Venezuela dominated by a closed system with no public trust in institutions, any change of last name or unexplained transfer raises a huge red flag. Venezuelan families are using social networks, messaging groups, and independent records to look for relatives. The Associated Press showed that Venezuelans, both inside and outside the country, started sharing photos, names, and information about missing people because official communication couldn't address their anguish. Some independent records have listed tens of thousands of missing people. Reuters reported that a website promoted by the opposition registered nearly 50,000 people with unknown whereabouts on Sunday. Meanwhile, the government mentioned lower numbers of missing people or people trapped under the rubble. This difference between the official numbers and the family's records is one of the most painful marks of the tragedy. For the regime, it may be just a statistic. For a mother, it's a daughter. For a father, it's a boy. For a brother, it's someone who might still be alive waiting to be rescued. When the state controls information too much and provides too few answers, the population starts searching on its own for what should come quickly. Lists of hospitals, names of those rescued, shelter locations. La Guaira became the strongest image of the disaster. More than 100 buildings collapsed in the region, according to information released by international media, and tens of thousands of families were affected.
The camera shows from above the destruction in La Guaira, where whole blocks are now piles of concrete and twisted iron. On the ground, recovery is a race against time. New foreign rescue teams keep arriving to reinforce the search efforts. Where are you?
Are you next to the closet?
The answer can barely be heard. It's the voice of Moises, 11 years old. After 6 hours of a delicate operation, the boy was pulled out alive from the rubble. His mother and sister, found near him, did not survive their injuries. On Carabaleta Beach, father and son spent 4 days buried under a building. Exhausted and in shock, the two were rescued by French and American rescuers while volunteers cleared a path to the ambulance.
Thank you.
The cries of this 9-month-old baby guided this team of Spanish firefighters. With each survivor, a new wave of hope. But for many families, the wait continues. Residents and volunteers form human chains to prevent machines from leaving the search areas and demand more support from the authorities.
We want support.
We want machines. Meanwhile, thousands of people have nowhere to go back to. Families sleep in cars, improvised tents, schools, and even golf courses afraid of further collapses. Susana is one of the survivors. The building she lived in collapsed just after she escaped with her neighbor's help. She lost everything purchased with her retirement money. Confronted with such destruction, she captures the feelings of those who escaped.
I used that money to buy my washing machine, air conditioner, and television. All of that was lost, but life, I have my life, and those material things can be replaced, but life will never be recovered.
The United States response also became a key political issue during the crisis. American authorities announced the deployment of search teams, medical support, and humanitarian aid. The initial promise amounted to $150 million with expectations of new support packages. Secretary of State Marco Rubio stated that the response would be large, swift, and effective for a people who have suffered for years from economic collapse, mass exodus, and the abandonment of basic services. The arrival of foreign aid should be received as immediate relief, not as a threat to the regime's control. Other nations have also offered help: Brazil, Mexico, El Salvador, Colombia, France, Spain, Switzerland, Germany, China, and other delegations were mentioned in the international effort. The difference is that the presence of the United States carries greater symbolic weight because Chavismo has always used anti-American rhetoric to justify internal control, political persecution, and isolation. But in the face of collapsed buildings and missing children, that rhetoric loses its strength. No one buried under rubble asks which flag is on the firefighter's uniform. Whoever is trapped in the debris just wants to get out alive. Diosdado Cabello tried to present the situation as an operation organized according to established protocols, but the political image that remains for many Venezuelans is a different one. The same group that controlled the nation for years now wants to control even the rescue. The video of the moment of the earthquake, with buildings starting to collapse almost instantly, shows the violence of the impact. There was no time to prepare. People were caught by surprise at home, at work, on the streets, and in buildings already weakened by years of structural crisis. The tremor struck a nation that was already burdened with weak hospitals, unstable public services, and an exhausted population. While rescue teams work, pressure is mounting on Cabello and on the entire structure of the regime. Anyone who hinders aid in a tragedy of this magnitude is not just making a management mistake, they are choosing control when they should be choosing lives. Thank you very much for watching this video until the end. Support our project and contribute financially through the Pix key that appears on your screen. We are an independent channel focused on keeping you informed with the truth. Your contribution helps us keep going.